love, right? So it's very okay that you are creating a Valentine flyer or a Valentine content and you're using a red color. Obviously, that is the color you're supposed to use, right? Because red color is for passion. Okay, if you're also creating a food content, right, for a particular brand, but first of all, you have to check if that particular brand has a color. But if you don't have a color and you intend to use a color from your imagination, try to also note the meaning of the color you are using, right? So if you are creating a content for a food brand, you can as well use red. You can use green, light green. You can use yellow, colors that are vibrant, right? That will really speak to people, colors that will attract people to a particular brand. Then we have blue. Blue, the meaning of blue is trust, calm, professionalism. If you check around, you can see that banks, schools, high institutions, they use this blue colors for their brand because people tend to trust blue makes people like as if blue is just a color that you can trust. When you want to think about trust, just think blue. So blue is that calm, trustful color that you can use. Then for yellow talks about happiness, optimism, positivity, right? Green is for growth, health, and nature. You see why agriculture came into it because green is for nature. Agric is what nature. So when you want to also design or when you want to share a content for a health brand, you can also think of using green as part of the colors that you want to use to create the design. Then black speaks about power, elegance, right? Have you ever seen a design that has black and gold? I don't know which feeling you normally have when you interact with this particular design. It's going to give this luxury feeling. So that's what black can do for you. Black, and when you combine it with a very good color that complements it, then white speaks about purity, cleanliness, and what simplicity. So the summary of what I'm just going to say about colors is that before you use the color, try to understand the meaning of the color. If you know the meaning of the color, you can always ask ChatGPT. I want to design a particular thing for a particular industry. What color do you think suits the particular design I want to do? And ChatGPT will just give you a good color to use. So we have tips for using colors, right? For your designs. Don't use too many colors. Stick to 2 or 3 main ones. So if you're using a color, don't use more than 2. Or if you're going to use more than 2, make sure it's no more than 3. 3 is the max that you can use. Make sure your text stand out from the background. That is, you must have good contrast. So imagine you are using a red color for your background, right? Then the text that you're now using is black. I don't know if you're trying to imagine red. Like, red has different shades. When I mean red, I mean this kind of dark shade of red. Then you now use a black color text on it. I don't know if you're trying to confuse or convince your audience to engage with your post because nobody will see what is on that background, right? So, but when you use colors like white, yellow, like when I mean yellow, I mean this vibrant yellow. At least people can be scrolling and they will see your design and the text on the design will just speak to them immediately, right? But when you use colors that are not, or let's say colors that are blending into the background, it's going to be very difficult for people to read the text. And obviously, you did not communicate to anybody. You just designed something you liked, but nobody is engaging. Use your brand colors consistently. But most of us that already have a brand, maybe most of us now, we have a social media account. We are trying to grow our brands, right? If you said my color is blue, make sure you know the shade of blue you are using. So anytime you're creating content, you can use that your blue color to make your designs, right? You can use maybe that blue and another complementary color that will go hand in hand with your brand. Don't use blue and green today, and tomorrow you have changed. You're using pink and white. Next tomorrow you're now using red and yellow. Please, you're not a chameleon. Do you understand? So if you want to use a particular color, for example, me now, I use yellow and there's a particular shade of pink that I use. I already know the shade of that pink. Pink has different shades, different varieties. So don't say my brand color is pink. Okay, yes, I need a particular pink. What is the color code? Write it down in your paper. Anytime you want to make a design, copy the color code and incorporate it to the flyer you're making. Don't start using different shades of pink, right? If you chose a particular shade of pink, do what? Use it. So always make sure you are consistent with what the brand color, whether it is your brand or the brand of anybody that you are creating the content for. Right? Are we following? Only two people are following.
Yes, very well. We are following. Your voice is clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the next element of graphic design we have here is images and icons. So aside from text and color, in as much as even with color and text, you can actually make a design that communicates, right? But sometimes images also help to communicate more, right? I made an example at the beginning of this class when I said, imagine I wanted um to stop biting my fingers, right? And I've been looking for a way to I've been looking for a content that will really speak to me, that will help me stop biting my finger. Earlier, imagine when somebody wrote a particular content and there is no graphics, that I might even skip that content, even if that content is something that would have helped me. But because it did not grab my attention, maybe I did not even know that it was talking about biting of fingers. Then I now said that okay, if the person now designs something and writes how to stop biting your fingers, then now put the image of somebody that is biting into her fingers. Even if the text did not attract me, but that person that is biting into her finger, I'll be like, see this person that is biting her finger. What is this flyer trying to say? Then I'll now see the text, and from there I'll now engage with your content, right? So you've seen how that image has made me to engage with your content. That is how imagery works. So in as much as you can use text to still convey your image, your content, right? Images also goes a long way. I don't know, most times you can see that Coca-Cola, let me just be using Coca-Cola. If they want to do their ad, they will bring somebody that is drinking Coca-Cola. Or even if they are in their videos, they'll bring somebody that's drinking Coca-Cola and the person is very happy, very excited, very relaxed. I don't know if the images speak to you, but it actually does speak to me, because it gives me this feeling that anytime I take Coca-Cola, then I'm going to be relaxed, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be this. So why don't they just come and create a flyer and write Coca-Cola? Sorry, I'm kind of stammering. Coca-Cola is refreshing, it helps you relax, it helps you do this. No, because in our age now, people don't like to read anymore. Anything that makes somebody to read, you know what the kind of attention span that person will have. So these days, people don't even like to read, they deal more with visuals. So that's why they just tend to just go and make ads, do videos with images of people drinking Coke, so that it will make you want to buy the Coke. I hope I just communicated something now. Okay. So images can make your designs more engaging and help us tell a story. I've explained it just now. So we have images. When we talk about images, we have different types. We have photos, right? These are realistic. That is real image of people, right? Then we have illustrations. Illustrations are all these cartoons that people can draw. I don't know if most of us that read newspapers, there are some parts of newspapers that have cartoons on it. I really like those ones. So these are illustrations. It's as if it was drawn with a pen or a pencil. So those are illustrations. Then we have icons. Icons are small graphics that represent ideas. For example, you can see a phone icon in place of contact. So instead of writing contact, you can just use a phone icon in place of contact. You can also see venue. Instead of using venue, instead of writing venue as a text, you now see that icon. That icon. I think most of us are already conversant with the venue icon. You don't need anybody to tell you this is venue before you know it's venue, or dates, or time. They all have icons. So these are examples of icons. So why does images and icons matter? It makes visuals. Okay, Images make messages clearer and more memorable. Memorable in the sense that you will not forget it. Like I use Coke for an example. When people are taking Coke and they are feeling happy and energetic, the next time you are feeling very tired, there is a 50% probability that if you go to a shop to get a drink, you always request for a Coke because you've seen the ad or you've seen the video or you've seen the image and you saw the expression on the person's face when he or she was taking the Coke. So obviously you'll be like, okay, let me buy Coca-Cola since that is what. And in as much as we have Pepsi, we have other brands of that particular product, but because Coca-Cola was able to give you that feeling of refreshment, you just go for it. So this is how imageries can help to make your content more relatable and more communicated, right? So these are different websites where you can get images from. That's for those of you that are interested in going into graphic design or using graphics to create your content. So another element of graphic design we have is shape. Shape is used to create structure, emphasis, and what interest. We have geometric shapes, the normal circles, squares, triangles, the normal shapes that we know, right? Then we have organic shapes. These ones are natural, free form. They are more playful. You can create them with your hand. Anything you like, you just draw. It just becomes a shape. Then we have abstract shapes. So these are like customized shape or artistic forms that were created by people, right? They are not the normal geometric shapes that we know. Okay, so shape helps organize information and guide the viewer's eyes, right? So these are different types of shapes that we know. You've seen how I use this particular shape to fixing the types of graphic design. So at least shapes help to organize text, right? It helps to direct the visuals of a particular person that's going to engage in your content. Then we have lines. Lines is also one of the elements of graphic design, even though it's not very compulsory, right? Because the most compulsory ones for graphic design are elements, colors, and typography. But lines can still help to make your work look organized, to help you separate sections, and to also guide the user's eye. So we have types of lines. We have straight lines, curved lines, dotted lines, dashed lines, and the rest. So this is just an example of the different types of lines that we can have. Then another element of graphic design is white space. White space. When I talk about white space, I don't mean spaces that are white. White space is empty space, right? Empty spaces around your flyers. So we have different types of white space. Active space. These are spaces that were intentionally left blank to highlight content, right? Then we have passive space. These are spaces that just exist. For example, spaces between text and elements. Why white space matters? It helps to improve readability and give your design room to breathe, right? I think I give an example here with this particular flyer that I created for a particular brand. This is when there is no white space. You can see the way everything is jam-packed. If you want to, okay, I want to make a little example. For example, you go to your room. Your room is very, very scattered. Not even your room, okay. Your friend says, go to my room, get my power bank for me. And you go to the room and everywhere is scattered. There is no arrangement. Everything is scattered. How do you intend to? You might find the power bank, but it's going to take you time because you have to really search for it. But imagine your friend's room was very arranged, right? And when you enter there, everything is arranged. Like at least your eyes can help you. You can easily scan the room to check for where the power bank is. But imagine when it is scattered, you can't be able to scan the room because everything is scattered, everything is jam-packed. You don't even know where you are looking for the power bank because everything is clustered, everything is like scattered. So this is what I'm trying to explain with white space. White space is like it helps your designs to be arranged, right? So that anything your user or anything that the person you are creating the content for is looking for, they can easily find it. So in this particular one, you can see that there's white space, but it's not really used well. But here you can see how there are different white spaces, right? You can see how the logo stands out. You can see how their offerings, what they are offering stands out. You can still see how this stands out. You can still see how the social media handles stood out, right? So this is how white space can help people to really understand your flyer, and in the same way understand the content that you're trying to create. So whenever you are going to create a content or you want to create a graphics, design supports content creation. Let's see. We have social media posts. So for example, me now, I always create content on my Facebook, right? But I'm not a person that I don't like writing, because like I said, writing is very boring for me. So whenever I write, I also use images to support it. So when you're making social media posts, graphic designs can be to design eye-catchy posts, templates, reels, or carousels, right? When you design this, it can help to add more meaning to the text that you've written, right? Also, in blogs or articles, most times, in fact, I think blogs of nowadays always carries all these graphics. At least the graphics can help people now know what the content is going to be about. Videos, you can always see that if you go to YouTube, there are thumbnails. You not just go to YouTube and the video start playing like that. No, you obviously see a design that is saying how to make money in 5 minutes. Then is that design that will now make you to want to watch that video. Well, imagine there's no thumbnail. You just open your YouTube and videos are just playing. How would they even know the part, like what exactly you want to watch? But these thumbnails or these designs, right, can help to make you understand what the particular video is all about, right? Then we have ebooks. Imagine, ebooks are like electronic books now, books you read online, like with your phone. It's not a physical book. So after creating an ebook, imagine you didn't create a design for the cover. You just published it on Seller or Amazon. How do you want people to read your book? Or maybe you just went to a title page and you wrote how to make money or how to be a graphic designer. And that's all. People like me, I'll just see it as something that is boring because I like something that is interesting. So how can you make your book cover interesting? Do you know that? Okay, normally they say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes it's very imperative that you have to judge a book by the cover, because it's the beauty of the book. It's the way the book is communicating the title that will make you to want to read the book. If the book is not fine, if the book is just bare, I don't think people will want to interact. Like I told you, people of nowadays have low attention span. People they don't even want to read anything. So it's the way your book is fine, the way your book cover is fine, that want to make them buy your book. So this is where graphics come into play. So imagine you've created an ebook and you want to sell it and you don't have graphics in play. I'm going to tell you for fact that if you are supposed to sell to 100 people, you might end up selling to 20 or 10 people because they will not find your book attractive. But when you have a book cover, obviously it will tend to make people want to buy. Let me now tell you what happened to me, like I think earlier this week. I was scrolling on Facebook. I had no plan to buy any ebook because I already had two that I have not finished reading. I just scrolling, that was how I saw this book. I don't know if most of us had seen it on Facebook. Focus Like a Monster. It's not even the topic that caught my attention. Somebody's brain that they used chain to bind. Do you get? So you've seen, because of that stuff, I was not able to read the content that came with that. Oh, sorry, the write-up that came with the book cover. That was how I was able to buy that book. Like I had no intention of spending money that day, that night. That was even night. That was around, I think, just 11, 12. I wanted to sit and I just scrolled and I scrolled to that part. That was how I spent my money that night, because of that particular image. So you've seen how the author of that book had made me buy his or her book. And who knows how many people bought that book because of that imagery. That is graphic design for you. Imagine where there was no design. How do you think that person would have made the sale? Right? So we'll go to websites. Websites is also part of content creation. People now patronize UI UX designers to make their websites, and I don't think there's any website you'll be seeing in this life that there is no image, there is no design. I don't think. Maybe that was the ones that were done in the 90s. But website of nowadays, there are even videos, there are different content, graphics, designs that will help make the website interactive. Remember, I always say that people of nowadays has low attention span. Span, sorry. So they want something that will grab their attention. If your design is not grabbing attention, or if your text is not even enough to grab attention, because people don't no longer read in this age. People that read are very small. So it's your graphics, the way you design them that will make people want to engage with your content. And we have emails, newsletters, right? Then the graphics there can be branded headers, visual sections, clickable CTAs. CTAs are called call to actions. Then infographics. We all know what infographics are now. Like they kind of like an information is a document that contains an information. But this time around, there are also some graphics there. So, for example, you want to estimate the total number of people that ate rice this morning and people that ate beans. So when you are done with your analysis, your data analysis, when you've collected the research form and you're trying to explain to people, you might just end up drawing a bar chart or a pie chart or a histogram, as the case may be. So these are the infographics, right? So also is the way you design them, the way you use your colors and your text that also make people want to really interact with it. Are we still following?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to look at why graphic design matters in content creation. I think these texts are very small, but we'll just manage it. How graphic design matters in content creation. Brief and goal setting. That is one, brief and goal setting. With graphic, help people understand your brief and your goal settings, right? You can help people to understand the message, who the audience are, and what platform. So, okay, for example, you have a community, and the community is to train young women now, and you want to write a content about young women. Then when you're done with the content, now say, okay, I need people to engage with this content, so I need to make a very good graphics, a very good flyer for it, right? The way you choose the color, the way you choose the text, you know that it's not the color you use for women that you use for men and for general public, right? If you're talking about women, you can use colors like pink, purple, white, maybe red, right? These are colors that speak to women. So because you understood that you are speaking to women and they are your audience, you are able to make a flyer that if women see it, they will be able to engage because the colors are speaking to them, right? So from the flyer, I can be able to explain the platform, write the platform down. At least the flyer is going to help communicate your goal, your idea to your intended audience. Content planning, right? When you want to write a content, not really writing. You want to plan your content. Maybe your boss told you, okay, draft the content of the week for me. Let me see. Or for the month. You don't just go to your Microsoft Word and start typing, and when you're done, you give it to him. No. Nowadays, people tend to make their work look professional, right? You start with designing. It's not really like strict designing, right? You can just design the header, use a particular color for a particular heading, use a particular font for a particular subheading. Like, graphics design tends to make your work look arranged, right? But if you don't have this knowledge of graphic design, you'll not be able to know what text to make bold, or what text to make italics, or what text to make small, or what font to use, or what font size to use. But your understanding of graphic design can help you design, not really design now. I don't want to make it to look like hard work. Can make you arrange your text, right, in a way that's going to be looking appealing and not jam-packed. So design execution. I don't know, if you see a video that has been created by somebody that has this graphic design sense, to tell you that this person knows what he or she is doing, right? Because the videos, like you'll be seeing persons use the color contrast, the way the person bolded some particular text that needed to draw attention. I don't know, if you see some videos that are made by people that are into graphics, it's different from videos that are being made by people that doesn't know anything about graphic, right? So you can see how graphic design is actually infiltrating into different parts of content creation. Reviews and feedback, right, is also a part of content creation. Graphic design can also help you to, or let's say graphic design comes into play in this part. Then publish and analysis. Graphic design can also help when you draw, like your Facebook. Now you can see some bar charts, some bar graphs. These are all part of graphics, and you can see that some of them sometimes, if your engagement is low, the color will be red, something like that. If your engagement is high, the color will be green. So these are some ways graphic design helps content creation. We have types of graphic design. I'll just read through them. We have visual identity design. We have marketing design. We have social media designs. We have UI UX design, packaging designs. We have print designs. We have motion design, environmental designs, publication designs, right? So it depends on the niche that you want to specialize in, and it also depends on the content that you are creating. So I think this is the end of my session for tonight, right? So whenever you create a content, you have to have some things at the back of your mind. Make sure, I think nowadays graphics are a must in your content for people to be able to engage, right? Graphics is one thing that is now important because people of these days no longer read. And it's a very bad thing, but that is it. They no longer read. So we need something else. We need to now, since they no longer read, we need to now create something else that will always capture their attention. And now we find out how graphics can actually capture people's attention and make them want to engage with your content, right? So this is the end of the session for tonight. So I don't know if we have questions, suggestions, contributions. I'd like to hear them all. Thank you all for your patience, for really listening to the little I had to say. So if we have questions, you can hit me up. I'm ready for them. Thank you.
Is coming.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My mic was muted. So James, can you speak?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate your presentation. We've learned a lot. And you've called back our mind to so many things. I think this thing is echoing.
No, it's not echoing. I can hear you.
Okay, very well. Thank you. So, but I have a little question.
Okay.
I have noticed design. And sometimes I try to make some designs too. But there is something peculiar. When I weld the images I generate with phone or try to redesign with phone to make it look well polished.
Okay.
It seems to be a bit inferior compared to some that was generated or designed using laptops. I don't know whether I'm the one that is yet to learn how best to use phone to make a design, and that actually designs made with laptop are far better than designs made with phone. So is there any disparity between the two?
Okay, first of all, there's no disparity, right? And I would like to let you know that most of the designs I do are with my phone. Even till I have a laptop. Because my phone is very convenient for me. I make most of them on my phone. The only time I go to my system to make a design is when I have a very large, like when I have a large size design to do that I need to print. Then I'll have to go to my system. So I think the problem now is from you. It's not just you that have this problem. Most designers have this problem, right? You want to use an image for a design. I don't know if you know about qualities of images that you can use for your design. And I don't know if you know about websites where you can get them. You don't go to Google and say, I need an image of a man that is clapping, and you get the image and use it for your design. No. You go to, there are websites that are specified to get high quality images. For example, I use Pinterest, right, to get my images. Most of my images are from Pinterest. I go to Pinterest. I'm always on lookout for images that are very, very sharp, that the qualities are very high, right? Okay, I'm trying to share some designs I did with my phone on the group so you can see how the qualities are. Then sometimes some of these designs, some of these images might not be as clear as I want them, right? What I'll now have to do is to edit them. There are various apps that you can use to edit your images, various smartphone apps. So I think what you'd actually need maybe is a little touch up on graphic design. Since maybe you basically know the principles, but now what you need now is somebody to guide you, right, on the right ways to generate images and the right ways to export your designs, because there's a way you can export your design that it come out as very low quality, and there's a way you export your design that will make it come out very good, right? So you just need a little mentorship up for your designs. I don't know if you understood what I said.
Yeah, very well. And I'll be expecting the one you want to share.
Okay, I'm on it. So, does somebody else have another question? Confidence, can I hear your question? Confidence, your hands are raised. Do you have a question? Who else has a question? Please ask.
I have a question.
Okay. All right. I'm listening.
Okay. Thank you for the lecture. My question is I found it difficult. I just observed that on TikTok, and I'm trying to ask. Even after when I
can't hear you well, Lou. I can't hear you well.
Okay.
Can you start again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I kind of find it difficult. Or I observe that if I want to upload a video on my Facebook or TikTok, and I want to add a text, After adding my text, that's the words or the captions I want to use. After uploading the video, it happens that those texts are no more there. I don't know. So what can be the reason?
When you're uploading text, when you're uploading images, videos on Facebook or TikTok, right?
Yes.
I've not encountered that before. I don't know what the problem might be. The text you're talking about, like the video, is it like caption text?
Yes, caption text. Yes.
I've not noticed that. I think it's from the way you added it or from the way you edited it. Is it that you will not see any of the text at all, or it will be looking cut?
I will not see any of the text. It will look as if I didn't add any caption.
Okay. I've not encountered that. Which app do you edit your videos?
I used to use YouPorn.
Which other app do you use?
Pardon?
Which other app do you use again? Is it just YouCut?
It's only YouCut, yes.
Okay, first of all, I've not used YouCut before, so I don't know how it works. Most times I use CapCut, but because CapCut is now having issues, I now edit my videos using TikTok. Like I'll just shoot my video, then I'll take it to TikTok, then add caption and edit, then I'll now upload. You get? So that's
Okay.
I edit my pictures now. I use TikTok actually. You know how to use TikTok to edit videos now? Do you know?
I'm kind of learning that, but I feel like I feel more, as in I have more knowledge towards the YouPorn. Since you said that you don't use YouPorn, so I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. And you can also try to change app to know if you use another app, if you still have that issue. Right? So maybe it's from the YouPorn. Okay. That could be the problem. Right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, do we still have questions or contributions? Idoko Shalom. Yes, Idoko Shalom. Sorry, I can't hear you.
I said I would like more about the difference I don't know whether
Difference in what?
between a carousel and a photo slide.
Oh, photo slide. Photo slide is just like different pictures now in different slides. It's just pictures, right? Maybe on your birthday, you just put different pictures and it just be sliding. Maybe use video to make them slide, like different chapters of your pictures. Then carousels consist of text and images. For example, now, you know, I spoke about how to stop biting your finger, right? Stop biting your finger. So maybe if I decide to now use carousels, so the first page of my carousel is just like a notebook, maybe a 5-page notebook, right? Or 6-page, or depending on how many pages you want it to be. So the first page is going to be the title page or the cover page. I will now say how to stop biting your fingers, or do you want to stop biting your fingers? Follow these 4 steps. So that is the page 1. Then page 2, I will now say step 1. Stop looking at your finger. I'll now put an image of somebody that is not looking at his or her finger, right? So that will be page 1. Then the next page, just like that, subsequently, till I'm done with that particular carousel. So carousel is just like a document that contains information, but it's normally very short. It can be 4 or 5 pages, right? So that's carousel. But picture slide is just like carousel, but it's just only pictures. Do you understand?
Thank you.
Welcome. So any other question? Okay, so in the absence of questions or contributions,